So anybody, can join, watch us on YouTube as well. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to weekend informational session. And it's so amazing. We're getting back to this. It's been a journey. It's actually been a journey because 2024. Okay, so let me just go straight. Most of us are on weekend, so we know who weekend is. But let me just maybe say it again. Weekend is a group of is a community that serves or caters to women in career and business, and we offer a safe space, mentoring platform, training opportunities, and generally resources to help women thrive in the workplace and in the business space. Now, in 2024 that we started having this monthly informational session, and why we started having this monthly informational session was a way for us to meet, let people answer people's questions. So we know we might not be able to answer the questions on the group chats. We know we might not be able to meet everybody's needs. So monthly we ask, okay, what's bothering you? What can we talk about? What do you want us to talk about? And then we have people request so many things, ask so many questions. But this year we stopped because we noticed that the response or the attendance was a bit low. I guess people were going through a lot of things that didn't have to do with weekend, so it affected our attendance a little bit. However, after the Women in Career Advancement Network conference in March, I've gotten a lot of questions. We even took a poll on the group and we asked, what do you miss the most since started? And everybody was like, oh, the information sessions. But I'm like, you don't join. So if you don't join, how do you know you're missing it and all that? And then they're like, oh, that please bring it back, bring it back. And then of course, it only made sense to bring it back because we have around, okay, Ma, you said dream, dare, do. How do we dreamt about, but I don't know how to move from finally do. And then I thought, okay, who's the best person to take that here, or if which was actively deep. I mean, I got a lot of comments. The whole conference got a lot of feedback, but our own session, they were like, oh, there was the action session and there was very reflective session, and the replay session was like the most reflective session. Like you listen, you just be reflecting, be asking yourself questions like, what am I doing in my life? Is this my face? And all that. Since I'm giving you the feedback now, but can you hear me? Please, can we confirm that you can actually hear me so that I know that I'm not speaking to myself? Can we hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Awesome. Okay, great.
Ma'am, we can hear you.
So yeah, so that's why. Thank you, thank you. So that's why we are here to continue. The first thing here is to continue the informational session, which we already have topics to run for till the end of the year. It's once a month. And then the second thing is to ask ourselves, how do we start doing instead of just dreaming and dreaming and dreaming? How do we start doing? In fact, some people started calling me the king of dare. Well, I love to dare. I love to dare, and I love to do a lot. But I know somebody else that has been through the full process of having dreams, being stuck, feeling like this, and then daring to do in a field that probably, she will come and tell us everything by herself. So without much ado, I would just like to hand over to Mrs. Orife Uyo. We all know her from the weekend conference. I don't need to introduce her again. If you don't know her, go and Google her. I'm proud to say Google her because once you mention that name, you're going to see the track records flying everywhere. And that is the kind of pedigree we have at Weekend Community. So, ma'am, Mr. Rife, please over to you. This is the Weekend Community. We can please let's show her some weekend love. Thank you very much.
Hello, hello.
I mean,
Please
see the
confirm you can hear
slides.
me.
Y'all are in for yes, we can hear you, ma'am. We can hear you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me back, Daniela. I appreciate the callback because now I realize that I like to talk. Before I thought I was quiet. But as I'm progressing in life, I think I like to talk and I kind of have a bit to say. Right. So thanks for inviting me back. So I'll just dive right in so that we can make the most of our time. So I'll share it's really from my life's experience and my own story. I'll share and I hope to have questions at the end of it because I think that questions expand the conversation and actually meet the needs in your heart. So the things that you're questioning inside of you, it actually brings them out. So I'm putting you on notice, everybody. I expect questions at the end of it. And I'm a teacher, so if you don't ask a question, me, I will ask you. I always use that to threaten people before we start. Right. So confirm you can hear me because it was going a bit in and out earlier. Confirm you can still hear me.
Yes.
Is it good?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. Sorry, my light is not so great, but lesson for another time. Right. So yeah. So I want to believe that most of you were at the conference or perhaps live streamed in, so I don't have to talk too much in terms of who I am and what I've done. But I think I'll talk to those a little bit, at some point, right? But like I said at the conference, you are my favorite demographic. So the career woman, professional woman is my favorite demographic in the whole world. One, because I'm part of you. And two, because I feel we were sold a lemon. We were sold the story that as we were going through it is not quite true. So most of us, maybe our mothers were, first generation career women. I know my mother was the first generation career woman, but even her career was in teaching. It wasn't like a corporate space, well, at least at the beginning. So we're the generation, most of us, that are doing the career thing and also trying to meet purpose and also trying to be good wives and also trying to be all that. And along the line, we've realized that, hang on, I don't think I can do all of this, right? I can't do 50-50 and do everything in the home, a different conversation. But like I said, you're my favorite demographic and I'm really glad to be here. One thing that I probably didn't say at the conference or I couldn't get to or talk about too much was this doing part of life. Right. So we all feel like the doing is, oh, let me just do now. Why can't I just do? Why can't I just start? Why can't I just get started? Right. So even today, I want to disabuse you of the idea of the notion or the concept that taking action is just about taking action. Yes, there's a decision before it, but even before that, there's a lot of work that goes on in the mind that takes you to the place where you can make that decision and then go into action. And that's what we're really going to talk about and focus on today. So let me tell you my story. I'm going to talk about it. And again, like I shared at the conference, well, let me backtrack a bit. So behind the scenes, as it were. So I studied law. I won't go too far, don't worry, I promise. I studied law, went to law school. And after law school, went for NYSC, my service year. And my service year, I served in a law firm, focusing on litigation. So I gave law I like to say I gave you my best shot. I was in litigation for 1 year. So that's going to court and all of that. And I was quite good at it, but I hated it, really. So I stopped after a while. So after my service here, I went to another law firm, got a job as a baby lawyer in another law firm. This was business and commercial law because I thought, oh, maybe it's litigation I don't like. So business and commercial law. Hated that absolutely as well. So much so that after a couple of months, about 4 months, I just quit. I told them some story. I can't remember what, but I resigned. I didn't have a job. I didn't know where I was going to, but I was like, I need to get the heck out of here. This is not for me. So I resigned, and soon after that, thankfully, I actually got a job in a corporate space, which I've been since that time up until now. So that's almost 20 years, right? So it seemed like, the end of the story and a perfect, wonderful, happy ending. But along the line, right, about midway through, I began to experience what I call a profound dissatisfaction. And I think at the conference I talked about it a bit, right? It just felt like, I'd done everything I was supposed to do. And this couldn't be all that there was to life. There had to be more to life. So I call it a profound dissatisfaction, and I'll leave it there. And I talked about having a breakdown on the 31st of December, 2017. I mentioned that at the conference too, right? Long story short, moving ahead, it led me to identifying what I call the VIP of your life, your vision, identity, and purpose, which is what I do with my clients, the work I do with them, right? It led me to discovering that. And you would think that once I'd figured that out, it would be like a hurrah moment. Yay, glory to God. All right, now we know, let's jump into doing, right? Not at all. So the person that was crying, oh, this is my life, I can't do it anymore. Now I figured out, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Oh yeah, I do now. I spent years, doing what my coach calls dipping a toe in, just doing the bare minimum so that I can convince myself that I'm actually doing something. All the while, I really, I was hiding because I wasn't sure. I wasn't, all of the things that we'll talk about today. Yeah. So I did all of that until it got to the point where I couldn't anymore. And that's what I want to share with you all. How I went from that person that I identified purpose and was still hiding in plain sight, right? To basically what the life I'm living now, which I still think is the tip of the iceberg. It's not nearly close to what the vision is, but at least we're progressing and moving in that direction. So what am I doing now? I serve as an executive coach. Now, all of this is alongside my 9 to 5, right? I serve as an executive coach. I run an executive coaching practice, the Star Life Center, where I work with, women like you, professional women. I call them leadership ready because you're not just a regular, you're actually supposed to be at the top, right? So leadership ready women, I work with them to identify, design their true lives and their true and authentic lives. Design your life to fulfill your potential. Design your life to work for you. That's kind of what I do in that practice. Then I also founded and I run Nigeria's very first Montessori adolescent program. That's Montessori secondary, putting it plainly. And we're the very first in Nigeria. And again, it's working for me. It was a dream that I had for a long time to do something about education, do something about the way education is done, and actually produce the kind of learners who are leaders from the outset, so we're not struggling with confidence or timidity or problem solving or initiative, but actually being taught how to do that alongside their education. So we're doing that and we're having a ball. I'm absolutely loving that. Alongside that, I've authored quite a number of books, in counting over 40. I think it's closer to 50 now, or a little over 50, maybe. I can't even remember. Right, but I've written quite a number of books, and all that it was to express my voice. That was, at some point, it was a safe way to express my voice, but now really, I'm thoroughly enjoying doing that. Yeah, so how did I move from the person who was just hiding and doing the minimum and couldn't show her face, guys? I couldn't show my face, whether I was on social media, I was, running my business like an anonymous business. I was too scared to come out in the open. So how did I move from that to doing this today? That's a conversation we're going to have. And I invite you to come along with me, right? So there's some things that every dreamer faces. Every one of you that has a dream, has an idea, has a thought, has a wish, right? The things that stop us from taking action are pretty much the same. And really, I'd love you to put it in the chat. What's stopping you? That's my question. Like, I didn't mention, but I love my sessions to be interactive. Let's talk to each other, right? So just put it in the chat. What's stopping you? When we go through it all, you tell me what's stopping you, what has been holding you back. The first thing is not knowing. Like, you cannot do what you don't know, right? You cannot do what you don't know. What do you want to do? And in today's social media world, where there's so much information thrown out at you, where you're comparing yourself to not just people in your city or in your country, but people across the world, it can be very, very confusing, right? So no clarity, no direction. I don't know what to do. This one, the antidote to that really is you need to find out. It sounds simple, but it's simple, but it's not easy. Let me put it that way, right? Not knowing. Well, I'll talk about the antidote later. Let me not go into it full, right? So the first one is not knowing. Second one is not believing. I know, but I don't really believe, right? So self-doubts, just the rush of thoughts that say it's not you. Then there's what will people think, the fear of judgment. Then what if I fail, the fear of mistakes, and then procrastination. I'll do it later. We're going to go through them one by one, right? So I'm going to talk about what they are and then what they are and what the antidote to them is, because I feel like they are diseases. They are the dream diseases. They're the thing that'll stop you from attaining your dream and taking action towards getting there. right? So like I said earlier, not knowing is not lack of clarity. I really don't know, really. And a lot of people are stuck at this point. There's so many options, there's so many things I like to do, there's so many things, there's so many that I don't know, right? So in my VIP program, that's the V part of it. So I've talked about VIP being vision, identity, and purpose, which is the kernel of who you are. And everybody must have this. So if you don't have this, after now, I would strongly encourage, figure out a way to get it. What is my vision for my life and the end of my life, right? What is my identity? Who am I in the scheme of things in the world? What's my purpose? Why am I here? That's those three things. Once you have those, they're like your secret weapon, really, against the world, as it were, right? So what you know or your dream, that's the vision part of it. Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? Where do I see myself in the next 20 years? What do I want to achieve with my life, right? And a lot of people haven't found it, haven't figured it out yet. There's ways to do that, but I'm not sure that's what we're going to talk about today. Right? It's just saying that you need to get this. And again, really, like I said, I run a coaching program, and feel free to reach out, and we'll see how it goes. And indeed, at the conference, I gave a resource. Use that resource. I think there's exercise and activities for each step of the way. So the dream part of it will also answer this question of knowing or not knowing. Yeah. So clarity is not found. It's built one decision at a time. And that clarity, I want to really stress that it's not 100%, it's not a perfect science. What it does is give you a sense of direction, meaning that there's 5 options in front of me. The right thing for me is option 1 and maybe option 5. Number 2, 3, and 4 are not for me, right? So when opportunities come, I'm able to use that to assess that these areas are mine, these ones are not. I will leave it to the people who are best suited for them, because you really don't have to do everything. Can you hear me still? Power just went out.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, that's fine. So the power will be back in a bit, so I'll just keep talking. Right? So that's for the first thing. You can't do what you don't know. So whatever it takes, is it get a coach? Is it get a course? At this point, I'll give you the permission to do that. Is it sit down with yourself and introspect? Any of them can work. But whatever it takes, figure out what your dream is. And the dream has to be yours, not what you think other people want, not the expectations that you've been given in life. What it is that you want. It must be true and authentic to you to give you the energy to follow after it. So that's one. Second part is not believing. So you know something, but you don't believe it. So we're getting to the hot and crusty part of the of people's life. So you have the dream, right? And so let me tell you something for you. So some examples from my own life. So I had 2 ideas for businesses before I got into my corporate job. So the first one was when I was doing my youth service. I had the idea to have like a fresh fruit business, because at the time I was trying to be fit. I think I had my first son and I wanted to go back to my pre-baby body, right? So I was trying to eat healthy, I was trying to eat well, but it was difficult at the time. I was living in Port Harcourt at the time. There was no way you could get, fruits or vegetables like easy to eat. So it was like fast food, but fruit. It's kind of what's so fresh, it's kind of doing. So it's supposed to be it's healthy, but it's convenient. That was the idea that I had. So I did feasibility study. I did a plan. I went to the lady who I thought, okay, I'm going to sell from here. I went to the, but at the point of doing it, I backed out. I said, no, people will not buy. They'll say it's not safe. They'll say it's not clean. I gave myself all kind of reasons and I stepped back. Second business, when I quit my job, the job as in the business and commercial law, I put together a business plan because I'm good in writing, right? The business plan was to start a business center because I could type very fast, I can write, I can do research, I can do all of the things. So I even had an idea where I would get the equipment from. In hindsight, I don't think that person would have given me shacks. I was planning with somebody else's equipment. But in any case, I had a good plan. Like on the face of it, it was a good plan. But I didn't do it still. I told myself, okay, I got a job. So between when I was planning and a little time, I got the corporate job. So I said, oh, there's no need for this. I'm not doing it anymore. Whatever. Good reasons, but I didn't do it. Long and short of it. And I know that it's because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I could do it. I didn't believe that I could do it. Right. So some of us, the issue is that this idea that we have, we've not seen anybody do it before. So even, is this thing even possible? Or am I just deceiving myself? Or this thing can work, but I'm not the person to do it. It's not people like me that do it. Right. So we don't say those things loud, probably don't even admit them to ourselves. But that's the reason. So as I'm saying, please, like I said, please note down which one is your own, which one is the one that is plaguing you, and which is the sin that is so easily besetting you. Write your own down. Yeah. Why we need to understand this part, particularly the belief part. And again, I think I touched it on the other conference, but until you believe something, you can't do it. You cannot do it. You will talk about it, you will drink about it, you will whatever, you will tell everybody around. But when it comes to taking action, you step back because you don't believe it. Yeah. And the way to get that belief is to push it down into your subconscious. Why? By writing it down. And there's an exercise I like to give people. All of the things that you actually do believe. Now, it's a time where you need to be honest with yourself. What do I actually believe about this? What is stopping me from moving? Sit down with yourself. One, it can be, oh, I don't have enough knowledge. Oh, I don't think anybody will sell. Oh, they won't buy this in Nigeria. Oh, I'm too young. Whatever it is, write them down. So get a piece of paper, divide it into 3 columns. First column is the belief. What's the belief that is actually stopping me? Write it down, list it down. The second column is it true? That's the head. Is this actually true? Is there actual evidence to it? Or is it just something that, I've picked out of the environment and I've chosen to believe? Is it actually true? As tell the belief to defend itself, bring evidence that you are true. Is it actually true? And 8 out of 10 times it's not. Right? If it's actually true, then you can now find, okay, what are the things I can do to make this better or to change this? But most times it's not true. And what needs to change is your belief or what you are telling yourself, the conversation you're having with yourself in your head. Right? So what you now write in that third column is, what do I want to believe instead? So instead of saying I'm too young for this, the belief is age doesn't matter. As long as I have value to offer, people are going to accept it. That's what I want to believe instead. So it's those things that you write there that then become your affirmations or your confession. If you can find Bible scripture to back it up, all well and good, even better. In your mind, it makes you feel stronger. Amen. Yeah. So develop those, and those become your daily affirmations. What they're trying to do is to renew your mind, renew your belief system, push it down into your subconscious so much that you actually believe it. Because when you believe it, you're just going to do it. Yeah. Again, another example. When you see something, maybe you went to a movie and it was nice, or you went to a restaurant and it was really nice, or something, an experience or store, it was fantastic. You don't need anybody to beg you or convince you to tell them about it. In fact, you're the one that will be looking for opportunity to talk. Even when the conversation is not about that, you find a way to bring it in. Oh, have you seen this place? Oh, they're really nice. Go there. If you find that you're not talking about yourself or your products or the services you offer like that, it means that you don't really believe it. Right? Because if you believe something, any opportunity, you are talking about it. Even when they didn't ask you, you still talk about it. So if you're not there yet, it means that the belief system, there's problems in the belief system. And what I've said, please, you can then do that, right? That's number 2. Number 3 is, what will people think? And this is a fancy way of saying, I'm not good enough. This is not me. I can't do this. You're projecting onto others what you actually believe about yourself. What you're saying is that people will see that I'm not the person to do this. People will see that, I'm not good enough. And then they're going to, that's what you're actually saying. Right. So this is coming from a place of identity. It's the I part in the VIP. Who are you really? Do you truly know who you are? The business that you're doing or the idea that you have, do you really believe that you're the one to do it? Do you really believe that you are designed for it and you really do have something to offer? Right? The antidote is the same as the last, what you do in the last exercise. The 3 columns, what is the belief? Is it true? What do I want to believe instead? It's the same thing. Right? So that you can actually start projecting what you want to project to the world as opposed to the fear that is limiting you, because it's all fear. Number 4, what if I fail? And I'm sure all these things I'm saying are not new, but I'm happy to reinforce and repeat it because as adults, we learn by repetition, right? And I'm sure you've heard this before. What if I fail? You will fail. You will fail. And by fail, I mean you will make mistakes. You might not fall flat on your face. Then again, you might. We never know. Right? You're going to fail. Why? Because you don't know this thing. You've never done it before. You might have the dreams, you might have the business plan, you might have the projections, you might have everything on paper, right? But the rubber hits the road when you take a step towards taking action. I had an MD once that I would say, he was quoting a boxer, I think Mike Tyson. And he would say, all our plans, your plans are great on paper, the best laid plans. Once you get in the ring and the punch connects with your jaw, your plan goes out the window, and you then you will know what you actually do. Yeah. So are you going to do things wrong? Yes. Are you going to make mistakes? Yes. And the only reason you're going to do that is because you don't know. It's because you're learning. It's because you've never done it before. Right. So give yourself grace. And more importantly, allow yourself to be a learner. Allow yourself to be a beginner. Right. Because that is one thing that stops people from moving forward. They don't want to be a beginner. You say, oh, I'm a qualified, I don't know, banker. I'm an ED of this, and this. How can I be, messing up in front of the whole world? Well, that messing up is the price to pay for entry. They say embarrassment is the price to pay for entry into your dreams, right? So if you cannot allow yourself to make a mistake, and most perfectionist types have this issue. I have that perfectionist type as well. I want it to be perfect before moving. If you're going to do that, you're not going to move forward, right? So allow yourself. I'll give you a quick example. So I was talking to a client like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I can't remember now, a couple of days ago. And so she's done a lot in her career, right? But as of right now, she wants to move into something else, which is not necessarily aligned with her career, and she's afraid. So what she said to me is, I've lost all my confidence. And I'm like, how can you have confidence in something that you haven't done? Which confidence will you have? You've not done it before. Will you cut yourself some slack? Right? Confidence is in the doing. As you do it, that you'll get confident that you know how to do it. Right? What you can do is borrow from the confidence that you've had in the past. Borrow from it. Remind yourself. Like David, I killed a lion, I killed a bear. Remind yourself of that one too. To generate a bit of confidence, to step into this new path. So instead of saying I can't do it, you can't have confidence in something that you haven't done. So don't be afraid. Move forward. Move forward with it. Right? And I promise you that whatever it is that you know now is enough. Anyway, let's move. I want to make sure that I give time for questions and answers all the time. Okay. Right. So the last thing that keeps people from moving forward is I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Sorry, it's always asking for the link. Let me just send it out. I'll do it tomorrow. And does tomorrow ever come? There's always another tomorrow. And this is a very insidious one. It's something else my coach talks about. You can convince yourself that you're doing something when doing absolutely nothing. It's a way that you kind of self-protect. Make yourself feel like you're doing something you actually aren't. So it's telling yourself, okay, when I have I just have to buy ring lights. When I buy tripod, I'll start doing my videos. When I have finished this course, when I get the certification, when I get this, it never ends. It never ends. Yes. Do we need to learn? By all means, yes. But is what you have today enough for people you are sent to? I also promise you, yes. Anywhere you are in life, there's people that are above you, there's people that are beneath you. What you have and what you have to share is for those who are beneath you, that don't know what you know and need what you have. Yeah? What you have is enough. That learning is a rabbit hole. It doesn't end. Those who learn, the more you learn, the more you see that you don't really know, the more you know that you have so much more to learn. So if you enter that rabbit hole, you're going to be there forever. You're going to be stuck. And you'll be asking yourself, but I'm growing now. When I finish the certification, then I will go for internship. Then when I finish the internship, I'll go for the other certification. And when I do all of that, then I'm ready to. You're giving yourself 5 years. That could be 10, and that could end up being never. So those are the things. These 5 things are the prisons, really, that keep us stuck and prevent us from moving forward. So now let's talk about how do we now move? Right. So we'll still refer back to these 5 blocks. How do we now move? Very important. Number 1, you are going to be afraid. I've heard places that wait for peace. I don't know who has I've never had peace when I'm taking really strong decisions, when I need to do something. I'm afraid. But I get the weight of this, what I need to do is heavier than the fear. Right? It's heavy enough and it's persistent enough for me to know that this is the way to go, regardless of the fear. So don't expect fear to go away. And I'm talking from my experience now. If anyone says, oh, usually I stop being afraid before I move, please, I'm open to hearing and learning. But that hasn't been my experience. And I don't know anyone who's had that as the experience. No matter how many times you do something, if it's something that is meaningful to you, you will get the butterflies in your stomach. You will get agitated. You will get worried. It's part of our human experience. So expecting that you are going to be fine before moving forward, all the fears will disappear before moving forward. Don't think it's a realistic belief. Yeah. So acknowledge the fear. It's a human thing. There's nothing wrong, in being afraid. It's only wrong when you allow it to stop you. Yeah. And really the antidote to fear is taking that action. So I tell my people, with your knees knocking and your voice shaking and your tummy turning upside down, do it anyway. Right? Do the video where you are stammering and stuttering. Do it anyway. Do the one like now that I've forgotten to put do it anyway. There's something my coach said this year that very liberating, very liberating. And it was that this is not the year to be perfect. It's the year to get things done. And to me, it was like, angel singing. It was like an aha moment. Just get it done. And I promise you, that is one of the reasons why I'm speaking to you all today. I'm sure you've never seen me on the speaking circuit and in talking, because I've been waiting for it to be perfect. I've been waiting to be, 100%. Everything must be on point. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. So the fact that there is fear is not a reason to step back. In fact, that's what the fear is trying to do, to make you never step forward. So feel the fear, acknowledge the fear. In fact, embrace it, but move forward anyway. Yeah. So do it, Alfred. I know you've heard that before. Number 2, now this is a trick that I like. Start with the smallest thing. I say, if we have identified this is what I want to do, what's the smallest thing you can do? That's the first step. So I had the example of someone who says, I want to be a movie producer, for example. I want to be a movie producer. I want to produce big movies. And I actually want to do that. It's one of the things I want to do. Right. I want to produce movies that tell stories that, enlighten people and give them an idea and hope of the future and things like that. So I said, what's the smallest thing that you can do? Today, you cannot start today to produce a movie today. But can you do a skit? Can you do a skit? If that's too big, can you do a 2-minute video? Whether it's animation, whether it's you talking, what can you do that is the smallest version of that? Yeah, that's a hack towards getting things done. What most people do, and which helps them to fail, is that they try to bite the big elephant, do everything at once. I want to be a movie producer. I must start today to produce movie. It's going to be overwhelming. It's too much. You're trying to eat an elephant at once. It's not it's not going to work. Right? So to eat an elephant, like they say, eat it in bits. So what's the small, and I said not even a big piece. So what's the smallest thing that you can do? Is it to say, open an Instagram account and say movie producers international, whatever. What's the smallest thing that you can do that to you, right, is the valid step towards going to the next direction, to the big version at the end of it, which will take you to the next step. Yeah. So the little steps, how they say little drops of water make a mighty ocean. Those little steps. So start with the smallest thing that you can do, and it's an assignment I want to give everybody. What's the thing you say you want to do? What's the smallest thing? That in fact you're like, yeah, anybody can do this one. Yes, that's the one. Well, that smallest thing, start from there. Because what it does, it gives you momentum. It gives you momentum, and you are starting to build your confidence. Yeah. Like I said, confidence is in the doing. Number 3 thing, think of your why. Who are the people that are going to benefit from this? Now, the way God created us, all of us are designed to help other people. So WICAN is set up, right? The person that is benefiting from the WICAN is not necessarily the convener, it's the rest of the people that are in WICAN. And then there'll be a ripple effect. You then go out into the world and also give benefits to those who you interact with in your sphere of influence as well. So the question is, this thing that I'm supposed to do, if I don't do it, what happens to the people that I'm sent to? What happens to the people that are waiting on me to do this? What will happen to them? What becomes of them? It's a very strong and compelling reason. So it's like a generator. It gives you energy, right? Part of the reason I started to write was I wasn't so comfortable or confident in speaking as much, but I was like, I have something to say. So let me start by putting it in books. If that's what I can do for now. And then, as I'm building up my confidence, I can then begin to speak. My dream is to speak all over the world, to be a global speaker. I had that dream since I was a child, but I was also very shy. So I was in the space of this thing I want to do. It can't be me because I cannot be shy and global speaker at the same time. But at last you can by doing it a little at a time. From speaking in church, speaking at work, to speaking in, little by little. Get them. Yeah. So who are the people that you were sent to? Who are the people that if they don't hear this thing, it's going to impact them negatively? Right. So think about that and let that give you a sense of urgency. Let that be, a vision that pulls you, right? So that also helps you to go in the direction that you need to go. Yeah. Like everything here, your purpose is bigger than your fear. Allow it to be. Think of the people. And lastly, again, this is another hack, I think. Write it down. Create a plan. There's a saying that a dream that is not written down is just a wish. You can be mulling it over in your head, Well, caveat, I've met someone who says she doesn't write things down, right? So I lift up my hands and say, well, if it works for you. But I don't think I met any truly great person who doesn't write things down. Again, I've not met everybody in the world, but right. So my tip, if you choose to accept it, is write it down, create a plan. So this thing that you said you're going to do, we've talked about have this big vision. I've identified what the smallest part of it is going to be. How then do I do this smallest part? How do I do it? When do I do it? What are the steps? I will start with one, I'll do this A, B, C, D, E, and then put a date beside it. If you can put time, me, I like to put time in my in my to-do list, right? Or in my activity plans. I will do this on Wednesday by 12 noon. So I will know by 1 p.m. whether I've done it or not, right? So those things that can actually push you to get things done, right? The reason this is important because up until now, your dream, your plan, everything has been in your head. So it has been intangible. The first way you make it tangible, the first way you actually create it is by writing it down on a piece of paper in your notebook. You have created it by doing that. You have given it life. That has become not just an idea. That's become a thing now because it's on paper, right? The next step is taking it from that paper and making it a physical thing. So whether it's an invention, write the idea, write it down because what you have done is that you have brought it out, pulled it out of the intangible space, pulled it out of the mind space and brought it into the physical realm to be an entity. It's only a matter of time before that thing then becomes physical thing. When, people want to build a house, it's the same process. You have an idea, you call an architect, they draw it for you. So they take the idea out of the head and put it on the paper, So that's the vision, right? The vision, make it plain. Then those who are doing it can look at the plan and implement it. That's the same principle here. So write it down. And I also say, make that the step one of that plan. Make it so easy. Make it so easy that if I will be foolish not to do it. So I'll give you an example. I want to be a writer. I want to write global novels. So what's the first thing I'm going to do? I want to write an article and submit it on Medium or, put it on LinkedIn. What's the first step? It can be as simple as step one, open my computer, turn it on. Now, how hard is that? If you don't turn the computer, you tell me, or you can say, bring out my notebook. Not buy a notebook, because buy a notebook, you can make that into a project. Bring out my notebook or bring out my pen. Write that as first step one. What that does is so easy that really, you don't have to think about it. Power on my computer. Then you can go to your list and say, done. What that does is it gives you momentum to move to step two because you have already started. Right? So make the first step, in fact, as easy as you can, the first few steps, so that you can tick them off in quick succession and give yourself some energy. All you are doing is generating, mental, I don't know what kind of energy, generating energy to put behind your dream and begin to implement it step by step. Right? So these are the tips that we can use. The last one is get support. Get support because we're not created to do life alone. We're not created to do life alone. Some people do great in solitude. I'm one of them. But I found even with that, there's a saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. Right? So that's what I've learned in putting my school in place, in, all things I'm doing. There's a limit to what I can do alone. The width and the depth and the scope of what I truly want to achieve, I need help with. That's on the one hand. But even the energy to start, you need to get that support. So whether it's finding your tribe, Weekend is a fantastic tribe to do that. I'm sure that, there'll be avenues for accountability and support in doing things. And if you don't have that, you can actually kick it off. It's basically, what's your plan? What are you doing? How can, where do you need help? Right? So every week you're meeting up to say, okay, what's your plan for this week? What's your goal for the plan for the next week? And we're checking up on each other. Right? So it could be an accountability partner, it could be a community or a tribe. If there's none in Nigeria, go online. We're in a world that is not limited by location anymore. Go online and find a tribe. I'm certain that there's a support group for pretty much everything or anything. Find them wherever they are. And if truly you can't find anybody, ask God. The Holy Spirit will help you. Right? You need someone to kick your butt. You can do that too, if you allow. Yeah? But find your tribe. And what it does is it gives you external momentum. Just supports you, really. And that's what we need. That's what we need to actually move ourselves, move from one step to another, from grace to grace, and from glory to glory. Right. So, yeah, that went quicker than I thought. Oh, no, actually, no. It's almost, yeah. So here's the thing, and I always tell people, when I try to end my talks, is that there's no perfect time to do anything. There's no perfect time. So there's no time we're waiting for. You start now with what's in front of you, with what's in your hand, with what's in your mind, with the capacity that you currently have. I assure you that it's enough for now. Are you going to grow? Yes. Are you going to learn? Yes. Are you going to move? Yes. But can you start now? Absolutely yes. Right. So if we've done the first part of identified the blocks and we've done away with them, if we've gotten the tips for moving forward, the last thing you need to have is your decision. And that will determine whether all of what we've talked about stays in your mind and the intangible, or whether it begins to become a physical and tangible thing and come into this physical realm. Are you going to decide? Are you going to make that decision? Yeah. Are you going to continue to wait for something, whatever that thing is, whether it's within you, whether it's outside or wherever? Right? I want to ask and I want to urge that you make the decision to begin to move, because that's what's, once people say, oh, I want to move, what has happened or what is happening is that you're yet to make that decision. The reasons are all of the things we've talked about up until now. But at this point, you need to make the decision, because that's the only thing you need to move from where you are to where you want to be, right? And why you need to make that decision is that there's people waiting for you. The world is waiting. There's somebody in their house kneeling down and praying to God for that thing that you do. And God is saying, but I've given this girl, I've given this lady, I've given this woman, I've given it to you as a task to do. So the answer is there. Are you going to present it to those who need it? Will you decide that indeed this is your season to begin? Yeah. So thank you very much. Like my coach said, this is not the year to be perfect. And I can give that to you as well. I dash you. This is not the year to be perfect. It's the year to get started. It's the year to decide. And at the bottom, you'll see tonight. I want you to decide tonight. I want you to have a meeting with yourself tonight. What decision am I going to take? Because without that decision, all of the things we've done is just theory. Yeah. So stop waiting and start doing, because the world is waiting for you. Thank you very much. And I will bring it back to you, Ms. Eniola. And open for questions.
That was like a very smooth, swift session. Like it was just giving the blast, and it was just flowing. That was really, really amazing. Thank you so much, Sis Orife. Wow, what are we saying
My
now?
pleasure.
See the different, oh my goodness. That was just so amazing. Thank you, especially for this last note that says, this is the year to get started. Amazing. I love it. That is our New Year's weekend. This is our new slogan. This is the year to get started. Now let's bombard the messages with the thank yous, with what we have learned. And if you have any questions,
yes.
this is the best time to drop it in the comment section. And please, we're waiting for the questions, because questions is very, very, very important. We can't do without the questions. Thank you so much, Mr. Efe. One thing that stood out for me, however, was the challenges that we face. Most times we are quick to talk about the solutions, the solutions. This is what you should do, 5 steps to stop waiting. But you first dealt with issues, which they are the amazing. That's the highlight for me. Like, what issues do you have? Number one is not knowing. Wow, sis, I don't even know what to say. Like, please, um, questions, please, because not knowing, hey, God, I beg. I don't even know. I'm so excited because the session was just so sweet. My people have been sending me messages behind the back like, hey, God, this one is on fire. This, that. So I know that this session was worth it, But the not knowing, not believing, what will people say? What if I fail? Okay, let me do it tomorrow. Those are the challenges that we are having, especially as women. Because I'm looking at men, I'm thinking about it. Men don't wait. Men don't really care about what people say. Oh, they don't send you. God. They don't really care what people say, or let me do it tomorrow. Men are risk takers, and I think it is high time women to become risk takers. Like, I will take the risk, I will do it. Let me fail first, but I will still do it. So thank you so much. Sorry for okay. So someone has a question now. The question is for someone that has tried and failed. How do you handle failure without giving up on yourself? Thank you so much, Gloria, for that question. It's a very important question. Ma, please, over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think it's something that people struggle with a lot. One, like I've said, if you're someone that, struggles with mistakes, there's a personality type, if you're melancholic, you struggle with mistakes. It's almost, something that can take your entire spirit if you allow it, right? But does everyone make mistakes? Yes. So the question you've asked, what if you failed before? I'll bring it back to the point that we made, or I made earlier, that what is it that you tried to do? Can you go back and look at it? Was it too big? Right? Because sometimes we can overestimate our abilities. Because when we're reading it in the book, it looks perfect. Do business plan. It's when you work with business plans that you realize that everything is a projection. Everything is an estimate, an assumption. In the minute you step out into the real world, you know how real that estimate is. So first thing, how big was the thing that you did? Can you go back and look at it? Is there a way to reduce it? Is there a way to reduce to the smallest? What's the smallest thing that you can do? When I example that, you see my hand, this was small, tiny, this finger. What's the smallest thing that you can do? Start from that. Right. And then tell yourself, give yourself grace. For those who have that perfectionist tendency, give yourself grace. Everybody fails. Everybody fails. As long as somebody didn't die. And sometimes even then, you give yourself grace. You didn't mean to do it. This is not how you planned it. Yeah. So give yourself grace. I'm a human being. Perhaps chances are the things that you were doing, you've not done it before, you were just learning. Possibly it was a very big plan that probably should have started out a bit smaller. Yeah. So those will be that board out. You need to go back to the drawing board, especially if it's something that is heavy on your heart to do. In fact, you can even take it to the early drawing board. Am I even supposed to do this thing? First of all, perhaps perhaps that failure was a redirection in its own part. So start from there. Am I supposed to do this? It's fine. If I get, and you feel it in your heart, it's a sense of heaviness that do this, it keeps on coming, it doesn't go away. For me, that's how I measure some of the things I'm supposed to do. I have this idea, it's just not going away. Even when I'm not taking any action, it's not going away, right? So start from there. I'm supposed to do this. Then look at what you did again. Can I break it into smaller bits? Can I make it, bite size so that I can actually chew on it without choking, as it were? And then start from there. Yeah, so that's what I think. There's nothing you will do that you will not fail. So you have to sit back with it. What did you learn? That's another thing. We don't realize that failing is also learning. What I've learned is that I did this thing wrong. This is not how to do it. You've learned that. So next time you're doing it, you won't do it that way again. What are the things I need to change? Yeah, so that's what I would say. Confirm that I'm supposed to go in this direction. chunk it down as small as possible. Reflect on it, right? Something that we don't do. I don't know if it's in the whole world, but I know for sure in Nigeria we don't reflect on things. When you make a mistake, you are supposed to learn from it. You know when they say you learn from experiences, that's how you learn. By sitting down with, okay, what happened here? What happened? It's easier to say it's what people or village people. No, what happened here? Did I, price this thing wrongly? Did I not find the right target mark? What happened? Because that's how you learn. You have to learn what you did wrong. Then you can proceed again, but in a different way. Yeah. So confirm to yourself your need to do it. Chunk it down, bite size. Reflect and learn what went wrong here and what can I learn from it to do differently, and do it again. Still afraid, still unsure, do it again. Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Wow, that's so profound.
And you will continue. And you will continue. The thing is, we move from level to level. So once you conquer one level and you're comfortable, just know that something is coming to move you to the next level. And you will go through the same process again. The same fear, the same can I do it, the same thing. But when you've done it a couple of times, you start to recognize it. Okay, this was happening. This is how I did it last time. Okay. All right. Let's go. We can do it.
Wow, yes. That's so profound.
Absolutely. Do it again, still afraid. I love it. That's it. Learn the lessons from it, but do it again. Chunk it down to bite size, but do it again.
Yeah. That's amazing. I feel like a student all over again. Thank you so much. Hey, God, that was so amazing. Failure is something that we can't really, avoid. It's part of life. It's part of life. While you were talking, I remember a story of mine that I usually share, like when I was like 5 years old. So there was this outside our house, there was this gutter, it was a bit elevated. And my mom was always like, don't stay there, don't stay there, don't stay there. And of course, my hair was in my hands, the way you're kind of, So one day I sat there and then I slept off and then I fell down and I fell inside the gutter. And from that day, I don't like falling down. I developed a fear of falling down. Wow. And that's a thing for a lot of people that we fail to go back to figure out what exactly happened. That I started fearing falling down. I don't want to trip. I don't want to fall because the moment I trip and fall, I remember my failure that day. So when I sat down and I'm like, why exactly do I don't like this thing? And then I remember that because the beating that I received that day, I was the one that got injured. But my mom, the way she beat me after that day, I don't want to fall down again. And now I'm like, it's okay to fall down. It's okay to hit my leg. It's okay to injure because that's part of life. And I think that's where everybody needs to get to at a point. Like, what's the worst that will happen? They'll tell me no. What's the worst that will happen? My mom will beat me again. But I'll live. I'll have my own stories because failures are what forms your stories. Basically, failures are what form our story, our experiences. To be able to tell other people, I did this, I failed, but I learned a better way. Yeah.
You said it. You've said it. So let me just add one thing there. So those, like you said, those failures, they are experiences. And honestly, you really connect with people when you share those experiences and those failures. When you talk about how I achieved this, how I achieved that, some people are like, hey, God, this person don't even know what it means to feel. When you share, this is what I experienced, people really resonate with you. And that is even how you can impact. So, I always say that God is not a quack. Anything that you're going to do for others, you will go through it yourself. You will learn it, you will know it. So that when you are speaking, from a place of knowledge and actual applied knowledge, not just a theory already in a book.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Wow. So don't run away from your experiences, good, bad, and ugly. They all work together. As Christians, everything works together for good. They all work together for good. Just that we don't see it in the present. That's why. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. We have other questions. So one other question now. She says, how do you handle procrastination? And I think that's what leads us to I'll do it tomorrow, the I'll do it tomorrow part. So how do you handle it?
Yeah. So again, I will always say, as humans, we exist on three planes. So spirit, soul, and body. Yeah. For the body to take action, the soul, which is your mind, right, must agree, must decide that this is what we want to do. So your soul is the seat of your thoughts, your feelings, and your decisions. When you decide something in your mind, your body has no choice, it will take action. So if you are procrastinating, you have not decided. You have not decided. So it's not procrastination is a symptom. It's a symptom, it's not a problem in itself. There's something causing it. Yeah. So when you say, how do you handle it? You need to handle what is causing it. So if I give you tips, write down 10 things you want to do every day, say stand in front of the mirror and say it, and then put 20 alarms. It will work for 7.5 days at most. At most, right? But if you don't cut off the root of it, which is in the mind, which is what is causing this procrastination. And that's why I started from the blocks. Right? What is the belief system that is causing it? And I will tell you, see, as I stand here, I'm a queen of procrastination. Till today. Till today. I've not defeated it. Right? I will still leave it to the last minute to get it done. Till today. Even this slide that I did till the last minute. I'm the queen of it. What's informing that thing? For real. What informs it is that I still feel that I don't want to get it wrong. And if I do it early, I'll start seeing mistakes. So I will leave it until I can't change it again. So I say, okay, I don't have time. Let's just, yeah. So that is one thing. There's something causing it. So the person that answered the question, there's something causing that procrastination. What's causing it? Is it that I don't think I can do it? I don't think I can do it well enough. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this thing. Yeah. So sometimes we don't want to admit it to us. Sometimes we're in a job. I really don't like this job. I really don't want to do it. I just don't have any other way to get money yet. So what is the reason for the procrastination? That is a root that needs to be cut. Once the root is cut off, the fruit will function by itself. Right? The fruit would either die or change into something else.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're dealing with that. So the question, how do I handle it? Deal with what is causing it. And that is something that only you can have that conversation with yourself. Sit down with yourself. Why am I really not doing this? I said I'll do it tomorrow. Okay. Then tomorrow I'll say I'll do it tomorrow. And then why? What is it that I'm telling myself that doesn't make me get up and do it today? Yeah. But when it comes to what to do, I can still give you that. For those who like tips. And I learned this from what's her name now? Melanie. Is it Melanie? I'll remember. Lady with the glasses that has a podcast. And she wrote this book, 5-second rule. The 5-second rule. That when you want to do something, just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get up and do it. Don't listen to your feelings. Don't listen to, just get up and do it. Because procrastination is basically saying, I'm pushing something that I need to do to another time. So just get up and do it. So tell yourself, I need to do this. Then give yourself 5. Literally count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up and do it. Mel Robbins. Yeah, that's her name. I learned that from her. So things that take less than, so it depends on what. So I procrastinate to do housework because I really don't like housework. Yeah, I really don't like it. So I'll look at it. Oh God, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. So part of what she told us is if it will take less than 5 minutes, do it immediately.
Yeah.
Have the 5-second rule, just get up and do it. So you say this is going to be less than 5 minutes, just do it. If it's going to be longer, you can schedule it. And then at the point you've scheduled it to, do the 5-second rule and just do it. Yeah, so those are practical tips to do it. I do think the starting point is getting to the root of it. Why am I procrastinating on this thing and dealing with that? Yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
Wow, it even answers my own question.
Okay.
Because really, one thing I just love about you is the way you simply break it down. Like you're talking to children. Like, I mean, you have children, grown-up children now that I'm sure you had the experiences of sitting down and just breaking it down to them. That's how I feel like you're breaking it down so easy. Yes, identifying the why. There's the positive. Is there a positive why and a negative why? Because now I'm thinking, okay, like you mentioned now, your slides last minute. It could be the reason is because that. I already know what I'm going to talk about now. Let me just, I'll do that. Wait, is that a positive why?
It's not, because it leads to the same anxiety and trying to finish at the end, rush to finish. So it's not. There's nothing positive about it.
For
And
saying that.
if for any reason your system acts up, then you're in trouble. So
Yeah,
let me through full disclosure. So why I couldn't plug in my lights, because I had to plug in my headset to work so I can have noise cancellation. I didn't test my headset. So when I came and I started talking, it was off. So I'm like, yikes, I have to charge this thing. And I have only one port. So I had to choose my headset over the lights. That's why I don't have lights, not because I forgot. So if I had not left it at the last minute, I would have known, and I would have charged my headset. Yeah. So that's the negative. There's no positive of it. You're going to be rushing and things are going to fall through the cracks. Yeah. So it's not it's a bad habit.
So that always say they work under pressure. They work under pressure. It's a bad habit.
So that work under pressure is what I've experienced that to be is that I'm not that confident in that I can do it. So I'm going to wait until the very last minute so that whatever I do,
you just work with it.
Yeah, I'll just work with it.
Hey.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's not so much that I work under pressure, because nobody likes anxiety.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's it does a lot to your body that it doesn't need to be doing. Too much cortisol. You don't need that stress.
Yeah.
But it's because you're not entirely confident that you can really do it. So instead of doing it in regular time, that you have to go over it and the same mistakes. I beg, whatever it's going to be okay.
It's going to be fine. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. Now let me go to the next question. She says, how do you push yourself when you feel so much overwhelmed with starting over again? And I can relate to this. Like, you've done so much, you've tried, you failed, you've applied for a job, you failed, you've applied, and you give up. Now, how do you start again?
So first of all, hugs. So whoever has a question, big hugs. I know that everyone has experienced something like that at different levels. So sending you hugs and sending you light energy. So the first thing is give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. If you need to take some time to just be, then do that. Right. What you don't need to do is to force yourself. Yeah. Because again, you are introducing stress and anxiety into your body. That cortisol. So take some time to just rest. Yes. And then determine, do I really want to do this again? It's okay to say, I don't want to do it again. I want to go in a different direction. It's okay to say that. Yeah. Taking it back now to your vision. Is it something that you can say, I'm not doing again? Or is it part of your purpose? So rest first. Yeah. Even in the Bible, God told Elijah, rest. Just rest. Eat and sleep. Rest. The journey is still far in front. Rest. Then you then start the conversation. Am I supposed to do this? Is it a redirection? Or is it just that the failure was too much and it knocked me down, knocked the wind out of my sails? Yes. So get energy and come back and start that conversation again. It's the conversation within you, with you by yourself in your head. Am I supposed to do this? Is there a sense of certainty or heaviness about this thing that keeps you going back to it? If you have to do it, then you need to figure out, how am I going to do it? Like the other lady answered, break the elephant down into chunks. Reflect on what happened this time. Break it down and be dispassionate about it. As in, don't be attached to what you did or the methods or the bright ideas you thought you have. Be dispassionate. What happened? Right. Learn from that. Break it into chunks and try again. Once you're sure this is where you're supposed to go, you have the sense of direction, even if it's not 100%. People say, oh, I need to feel 100% sure. I don't think that happens. Like I said earlier, if I stand to be corrected, but I've never had that. And I've not had anyone that said, I knew without a shadow of a doubt. I don't know. So for me, my personal experience, I'm going to be shaky about it. I'll be, should I not? Should I not? Like the first child I put in boarding, I didn't believe in boarding school until I started my own school.
Oh,
But there was a
wow.
child that I knew that this child needs to go to boarding school because if she doesn't go, I can kill her. That's one. And I don't think she's getting what she needs here. As I was driving out to the place, I was crying because I wasn't sure. Am I doing the right thing? Will she not feel abandoned? Will she not feel other people are in the house? It's only me that is going. I was struggling with it, but somebody told me this is the right thing to do. So it's until I dropped her there that I got the sense of peace that you've done the right. I didn't get it until I actually did the thing. Right? Just giving examples of people saying, it must be, I must know before I do. I don't know that it happens. Right? Your heart will pull you towards where you're supposed to go. And sometimes you will do it, like I said, with shaking knees, knocking knees, and I'm not really sure. It's when you know whether you've done the right thing or not. And for that child, it was in hindsight, best decision. Best. This is almost over 10 years ago now. Best decision. But at the time, I was crying as I was taking her because I was like, well, she hates me that I left other people in the house. And, I felt it was the right thing, but I wasn't 100% certain. Yeah, so the thing that you're doing, it was overwhelmed. It's you've pushed yourself and you're overwhelmed. Give yourself grace. Allow yourself to say, okay, this doesn't work. And it's also hard because it might feel like you are giving up on the dream or giving up on the thing. Just give yourself resting time to get energy back. Then start having those conversations. Am I still supposed to do this? Why did I even start this thing at all? Is it because I saw other people doing it? Or is it actually mine? If I still feel strongly, then what went wrong? What happened the last time? What can I learn? Right? Because what you learn from those experiences, they are your own body of knowledge now. You can actually write a book on it. Don't do this. Don't do this, right? Aha. Reflect on that and then chunk it down. How do I do this thing gently so that it's not a strain on my emotions? So me, I used to be that push yourself, push to the end, push. Yeah, you are, it took a toll on my health. So there was a point in time before I even turned 40, I had high blood pressure, I had, high blood sugar, I had, and they were like, what's going on with you? I wasn't sleeping at night because they said, people that are go-getters don't sleep, do 2 hours a night, I would drink coffee. I was doing everything and I had to stop. I'm like, what are you trying to prove? I had a boss at the time and she told me something that was like pouring cold water on me. She's like, look, Orifie, if anything happens to you, the business, all the things you're doing, they'll move on. Your family will be left holding the can. So don't push yourself too much. Yeah. Stop. Stop. If it's the right way to go, find a way to reduce it into what you can handle step by step. It's not a cop out. Do it in a manageable pace and keep going. That overwhelm is that you are doing too much. You can burn out. Yeah. And people will burn out and still be pushing themselves. No, stop. You have nothing to prove. Stop. Rest. Right. And when it's the right, when you feel your energy has returned, then try again, but try again with knowledge. Try again with understanding. Yeah. That's what I would say.
Wow.
So hugs, to my sister in pushing. Hugs. Yeah. Because I was on that rat race. So I was like, nah, this is not for me.
Wow. And then just to write on this last question you just answered, the next question says, how do you move from a place of losing yourself to finding yourself again? Because I think it still has to do, it's a combined, question. Like she's overwhelmed, she wants to start over again, she has lost herself, she wants to find herself again. And then how do you involve God when you don't feel like praying?
Okay.
And I know there are a couple of people on this call like that with questions.
Okay. So losing yourself, that's a question of identity. And it comes from a place of living a life of performance and living from the expectations of others rather than living from your own authenticity or who you truly are. Now, I'll give you examples, or I'll explain it a bit more. So you lose yourself when you feel like, I don't know how many of us remember that story of Hansel and Gretel? I don't know why Hansel and Gretel is the example that came to my mind, but do we know that story, or is that a generational thing?
I think it's a
The
generational thing.
Hansel and Gretel. Oh my God. Okay. So I will tell you the story that if you don't know. So where these two kids that live with their father. This is all these Aesop tales people. They live with their father, and then they had a stepmother, you know. And then the stepmother was shy wicked, in the story. And it's not a Nigerian story. So the stepmother was wicked, I can't remember the details. And she was now taking them into the woods, right, to give them to a witch to show. So as they were going, the shark carried like loaves of bread. They hid it, and then as they were going, they were dropping pieces of it on the path so that they could find their way back home. Yeah. This long story short, by the time they came back, I think birds had eaten the crumbs, so they couldn't. Anyway, that's not my point. The point I'm making is that losing yourself feels like dropping pieces of yourself along the road to fit in to what's expected of you, to fit into who you think you should be, as opposed to who you actually are. So you arrive at some point, and then you don't remember who you are anymore because you have dropped off a hand somewhere. You have dropped off a leg somewhere. In fact, there's a Nigerian story like that. You dropped off your head somewhere. By the time you don't know who you are anymore. So the work is to retrace yourself and pick up yourself back. Because you perform to the point that you don't know who you are anymore. That's what it means by I've lost myself. I've gone on a path because they said this is what I'm supposed to do. I've gotten into this marriage because they said this is what I'm supposed to do. I've gotten into this business, this investment, this because it's the expectation around me. Do I actually want? I've never sat down to ask myself, is this the path for me, or do I actually want this? That is what losing yourself is. Performing without alignment with who you are on the inside. Yeah. So how do you find yourself again? You retrace your footsteps. You retrace it. How do you do that? You first of all sit down with yourself. And you need to call yourself to a meeting and say, apologize to yourself. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry for not being confident enough to be myself, to be me. So I'm at this point now where I want to begin to know myself again. Yeah. So I can make decisions based on who I am. And all of these things, they sound very up in the air, but I promise you, that's the way to go. Because it's a soul conversation. It's in your mind. Yeah. Sit down with yourself. Apologize to yourself. I'm sorry. I didn't know any better. I thought it was the way to do things. I'm sorry. So I want to come back to myself. Some people will say you do a childhood, who was I before the world got its hands at me? Well, can't remember what they call that thing. It's like going back into your childhood. I used to be talkative. I used to be brave. I used to be this. Remind yourself of who you were, right? Then what happened that you started cutting off pieces of yourself? That's what I mean by retrace yourself. When did it start? When did I start feeling I wasn't enough? When did I start doing what I felt other people wanted to see? When did I start changing my voice or changing my way of dressing to fit in? When did I start doing all of that? Because what you're looking for is the real you. Yeah. And it takes courage to say, this is not who I am. I'm going back to my real self. It takes courage and it takes time because you have to figure it out. It's not something that you can do in 5 minutes. It takes time. Because by yourself, you need to remember. Because most adults, and especially women, if you ask them, what do you want? They don't know.
No.
And they don't know because they've lived the life where everybody has told them, if you're to be a good woman, you have to do this. Is that you're going to go and do in your husband's house? This is not how. that's what they have planned their life around. This is not how. This is not this or this not. They don't even know who they are. What do you like? I spoke with the lady once. What do you enjoy doing? This lady she was 50 or something at the time. She couldn't tell me. She said, what do I like doing? Only me? I said, yes, only you.
Doesn't have.
What do you like? And she couldn't answer. She said, I don't know. As simple as that. What's your hobby? She said, hobby? Ha. That's something I would do just because I like doing it. I can't remember when last I did that. I've been having responsibility since I was a child. I don't know. Yeah, so that's the work you have to do, sis, is to go back and pick up the pieces of yourself that you dropped to fit in along the pathway of your life.
And the last question, how do you align plans with God even when you don't feel like praying again.
Praying. Because that one, I feel like we've given prayer an identity. We've given prayer a physical look and feel. It has to be like this. If you're not shouting, if you're not doing this, if you're not kneeling, if you're not, prayer is talking to God. Prayer is talking to God. So as I'm talking like this, that's all. That's prayer. So if you say, Father God, how far with this plan? It sounds extremely disrespectful, but that's a prayer.
That's it.
Yeah. So let's disabuse ourselves of what we think prayer needs to be. I have to be in my now. That has its place. The quiet time, I'm in with my Bible, I'm on my knees, all of that has its place. Right? It has its place. It's but there's also the type that I'm not in the space to do that part, but I can talk. Your thoughts in your head are prayers. Bible says, let the words of our heart and the meditations of our heart be acceptable, meaning that the meditation in our heart, the words of our mouth, he hears it. So if I'm directing it to God, prayer. Right? And then the part of the plans, what people don't know is that God created us for a purpose. Before we came onto the earth, we didn't come because, we're a twinkle in our father's eye. Right? Our father was in the mood. That's how it happened. No. It was just the right time. And I think science has even shown us now. Back in the day, we used to feel that we're taught that when the egg is ready, any sperm that gets there first is the one that fertilizes the egg. So you are here, almost random, the fastest sperm. But science now shows us that the egg actually has a preference. It chooses the right one. So there's a particular one that it will accept and the others it will not accept. Meaning that the sperm that was going to join the egg to create you, they have a code. It's waiting for it. It's not going to allow anybody else to come in. So nobody's here randomly, right? So it means you are here for a purpose. It means that the plans that you have, it's God that gave you those plans. So we think that we just have ideas. God gave you the idea. Of course, you have to now ask him back, is this the idea that you've given me? Because there's different voices coming at us. Our own voice, the voice of the world, the voice of people around, okay? So you ask him back, is this from you? Is this what you would have me do? I think that's the alignment you're talking about. You don't need to fast and pray. You don't need to do 21 days dry. You don't need to kneel down for 3 days. You don't need to shout at midnight. As I'm talking like this, it's a prayer. Talk to God. Father God, this thing, is it from you? Tell me you. Me, I even use the dirty God. Let me don't lie. I said, see, if you don't tell me, I'm going to.
I'll go and
So
do it.
I'm going to. So if it's not for you, better stop me. So I don't recommend that. But I'm saying that it doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to take a particular format. Just talk. The fact that you are concerned about it means that it's important to you. So just talk. As you're talking, and you will tell him also speak to me. There was a time I used to pray to God, Father God, talk to me in a way that will understand you. Some people say they speak in just me. I don't want to dream that I will have to be interpreting. Talk to me in a way that I will understand you. People fight with me that how can you tell God? I say, see, I don't want to be confused. Just talk to me so that I can talk to me direct, please. I don't need. And the way God responded to me was that I'm the one that wants to talk to you. I'm the one that created you. I know how you hear. Yeah,
exactly.
So you say I'm not doing I want you to hear me. So I'm interested in talking to you. I know how you hear because I created you that way. So don't worry about it. Yeah. Some people hear in dreams. More power to you. Some people, learn by what they see. They read a book. Some people hear a message. Some people hear a voice. How do you hear from God? Yeah. So you talk to him as we're talking now, and also tell him to talk to you back so that you can hear. That's all. Right. And as you go along and as you begin to hear those things, it will strengthen that faith and it will now make you want to spend more time with him in those formal ways. Yeah. But don't beat yourself up if you're not there right now. He understands. Just don't go away from him completely. Yeah. Keep the connection. Keep it light, keep it formal, but keep it. Yeah. You'll get back there.
Thank you so much. In fact, sis, I think we should have a session on prayers because people need to actually understand.
That's all I know about prayer. Finish. All I've told you is all. That's all. There's nothing more to add to that.
This prayer thing, I think
Yeah.
the world has just created
Yeah.
an
You've made it
idea,
something. Yeah.
ideology. Like you want to pray,
It's
God
almost
will
an
hear
idol. No,
God.
no.
In fact, there was a time I was talking to a friend. I was like, all this, if you don't sacrifice
Mm,
something when you pray, God will
mm,
not hear you. It's just all, God is not petty.
yeah.
Just, my God, please, I'm tired. He understands. Like, thank you so much. Honestly, if I go and start preaching, thank you so much. That was
No
just so
worries.
profound. That was so profound. Adeze, I hope you've gotten your answer. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that Ms. Orefe is open to counseling. If you
Yeah.
need to speak with her, please
Coaching.
just
I'm not a counselor.
coach,
I do coaching.
counsel.
Yeah. Counseling is, I'm not gentle. That's my problem. Counselors are gentle people. Not gentle.
If you need
Yeah,
to talk,
I don't do things gently. That's not
oh,
my way. So
yeah,
I do
you
coaching now.
do. You do. All right. Yeah. So the next
So yeah,
question,
please reach out. Please reach out if you
yes,
want.
I'll give you a
That's
contact.
available.
Adeze, please just reach out to me. So how do you overcome imposter syndrome? We hear a lot of everybody has imposter syndrome, women especially and all that. So in line with what we're talking about, because one of the reasons most people are not doing is because they
Hmm.
have that imposter syndrome. Like you
Okay.
mentioned in the training, like, oh, what if I'm not accepted, or what if I fail, or something like that. So please, can you just deal with it? That'll be the last question.
So I'm going to behave like a teacher now. So I want you all to write in the chat, what is imposter syndrome? What is it? So I'm going to give 2 minutes. And if I don't see answer, I will not answer too.
Okay,
So I'm
okay,
going
Harry.
into teacher mode now. I'm looking in the chats. What is imposter syndrome? What is it? So when we say that, what do we mean? So I want to see answers. So, ladies, I'm waiting.
All
No,
right,
2 minutes.
want to start because you're the one that asked the question,
No,
and you need
I would even want to open it to everyone, really.
No,
Right.
I'm
So
saying
yes, the
you might
person
want
that
to
asked.
start because she's the one that
Okay.
really wants an answer.
What is it? What is when we say imposter syndrome? What is it? I'm not seeing anything in the chat. So is it me?
Not
Oh
yet.
yeah, you put okay. So wait, 2 minutes. And if there's no answer, it's no answer. 1-1.
Typing. They're still typing.
Okay, fantastic. Please type.
Because one thing I
What
just
is
realized
it? Yeah.
about the imposter syndrome is like a question that has refused to go.
Mm.
Everybody is asking the question, imposter syndrome, imposter syndrome, imposter syndrome. How do I? How do I?
Mm.
Okay, somebody
Thank
says
you.
example of
Okay.
imposter syndrome. Everyone else is
Okay.
better than me.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
it says imposter syndrome is the feeling that you're not as capable, talented, or deserving as people think you are, even when there's evidence that you're doing well.
Mm. Okay.
Amazing. So
Mm.
Ruth says the feeling that your achievements happened by luck,
Mm-hmm.
not because
And
of
not
your
because
hard
of
work. Laura says
okay.
the feeling that you're not capable or deserving as people think.
Mm-hmm.
Becky says feeling that you're not good enough.
Fantastic.
That's all
Thank
the
you.
advice we have so far. Yeah.
Thank you. Inability to I'm even saying that to accept that you deserve what is good. Oof. Or the feeling of incapability. Mm.
Capability.
So I'm going to share my screen again. There's something that we talked about already. Let's go back there. So one of the blocks that stops us from yeah. So this is why I wanted, where is it now? This one. This is why I wanted people to say what they believe imposter syndrome is, because it's basically what you are believing that other people think, essentially. And like from the answers we have seen is yeah, the feeling that I'm not good enough. That's what imposter syndrome is. I'm not good enough, and people they're going to figure it, they're going to discover it, and they're going to disgrace me because now they know what I've always known, that I'm not good enough. So imposter syndrome is inside of you. You are the one that feels you're not good enough. And the question would be, again, is why? What is it that is causing it? So is it real? Absolutely, it's real. But it's real inside of your mind. And because you feel that way, you are going to act that way. You're going to behave not enough. You are going to be waiting for people to discover that I don't really know this thing. No. You are going to believe that you are there by luck. Yeah. So do we get opportunities that we didn't necessarily deserve? Yes. That's called grace. It happens to everybody. Do we get positions that we don't really know and we have to learn? Yes. But what happens there? We can learn it. Because somebody has seen that this person has the capacity. You can learn it. So the only person that has a problem in that situation is actually you. So you need to sit down with yourself. What is it about me that is telling myself that I'm not good enough? Why do I believe this thing so much? So much that I'm waiting for other people to say the same thing to me. Yeah. So there's no external thing that can make you believe differently until you actually believe differently. Even if I say from today till tomorrow, there's nobody that doesn't have capacity. Wherever you are, it's wherever you're supposed to be. The path that led you there is the path that is the path you're supposed to be on to get you to where God wants you to be. So that you are not wrong. If you feel you got into it out of luck, God made a way for you. But do you have the capacity to do it? Absolutely. So I can say that from now till 2027. But until you believe it, it's not going to make any difference. So this is a belief system, and it's a limiting belief. And women struggle with it so much. I will tell you something that happened to me. So in the last, was it earlier this year or late last year? I can't remember. Not so long ago in any case. So I'm in the leadership team, well, in my last division, and we had a 360-degree assessment. So each person then had the session with the consultant to talk through your outcomes. And the consultant was very confused when she got to mine. She said, you are the one that scored yourself lowest out of everybody. So it's a team of 20. On each point, I'll give myself 1 or 2. My colleagues will give me 4 or 5. I'll give.
Wow.
So she said, she didn't want to say, she was being gentle. She said, there's something here. There's something you need to work on.
Wow.
Yeah. So how you see yourself is different from how others see you. Why is that? And it made sure that I understood. So me, I was like, no, I have high standards. You know, I was now speaking English. I have high standards that I don't feel like I have met yet. She said, yeah, but if it was 1 or 2, it would be understandable. How do you have, you know, a list of almost like 50 questions, and in each part is the same thing? It's a pattern. Yeah. So it's a belief. So I have to sit down with myself that, is it that I'm seeing myself as low when everyone knows that? And I was not telling myself, they're lying, Joe. They're lying. I'm the only one that telling the truth. I'm the one that knows the truth. All 19 of them are lying. So that's what you call imposter syndrome. And I thought that was, no, I'm telling the truth. I'm saying what I know inside of me. But I had to sit down with myself. That's what's going on here, right? You know, so you are assessing yourself at mastery level in everything. So in competency, in leadership, in this, in that, I'm looking at what is the height supposed to be, the mastery level, the highest level, and I'm weighing myself against that. While others are saying, based on where you are, based on who you are, we think you're doing just fine. Yeah? So how are you seeing yourself? What are you measuring yourself against that is telling you that you're not good enough? What has caused you to say that this thing is just luck? If they find out, they will throw me away from here. What is it that is causing that? So everybody, that same conversation I had to have with myself, you need to have it with yourself also. Why do I believe this? Yeah. And there's a school of thought that everybody's supposed to have imposter syndrome. When you get into it, like if you're promoted into a new role, you need to have imposter syndrome because you know that you don't know it. You're just starting there. So you might have been at primary 6. It's like when you're going primary school, secondary school, you're in primary 6, you're at the top of the bottom level. When you move to the next level, you're at the bottom. But you can see where you are supposed to be. So there's the possibility of having imposter syndrome that, I'm not in SS3 yet. You're in GS1. Right? So start learning and moving from step to step until you get to the GS3, then you get to SS3, then you get to university, you're at the bottom level again, at the next level. Yeah. So there's a school of thought that it's a function of moving and growing and understanding that I don't have all of the capacity, all of the knowledge for this space that I'm in. And the answer to that is simply learn and grow. Acknowledge the gaps you have, learn and grow. Right. So that's on two levels now. On the mind level, what is it that's telling me I'm not good enough? And I've already given people the exercise for that. Write it down. What are the things that are telling me I'm not good enough? Why do I believe this so much? Is it true? Is it actually true, or is it in my mind? What do I want to think instead? So I can begin to tell myself this every day. That's on the mind level. Then on the practical level is, yes, where I am, I'm in a space where there's a gap between capacity. How am I going to fill that gap? How am I going to grow in this space? Right? Because when to enter into a role, you don't have everything that it takes. Grow into it. It's fine. So those are two different aspects of it. Which of them do you need to work on? Or perhaps it's both. Right? Then the last thing is that the identity. So the soul one is the mind. The gaps and the whatever is almost like the body. But then there's the identity. Do you really believe that you are enough as a person? Forget about the role, forget about the office, forget about the work that you are doing. About you. Do you feel that you have value, you are worthy, you deserve good things? That's a conversation of identity, it's a conversation between you and God. Right? So what is happening that you are looking outside to the office space, to people, to convince you that you are enough. Meanwhile, God is telling you, I created you. The fact that I created you means that you are enough. And I'll give two stories or two examples. One is, and I don't know if we're all Christians here, so forgive me if using Christian examples, but those are my sources of learning or sources of knowledge. So we read about the story of the baptism of Jesus Christ, right? When he went to be baptized by John the Baptist, and after the baptism, the Bible tells us that the heavens opened up and a voice came out and it said, "This is my beloved son, position, in whom I am well pleased. He's good enough. He's good. Listen to him." Yeah. At that point in time, Jesus had not done anything. He just existed. He just existed. He had not done anything that would say that he was this is why God was happening. It's the same thing with us. Just by being, you are God's child and you are good enough. So if you need to write it somewhere, say, I am God's beloved daughter in whom he's well pleased, happy with me. He created me, and like with all creation, he said it's good. If you are not good, you will not be here. I assure you. So that's an identity, the first part. The second part is the story of the prodigal son, which is what God is to teach me about identity. Again, I'll paraphrase. This young man left, took all the money that was his inheritance and left because he thought being somebody was outside, was there, that place that is happening. That's what's going to make me somebody. Is this money? Is this approval of people that will make me somebody? So when all of those things ran out, he had no choice but to come back home. And he then realized that, this is not who I am. Even the servants in my father's house they're not having this kind of experience. Like, I would get up and go back to my father. And when he got back, the father saw him afar off and came back and embraced him and restored him to his position, gave him, the ring, gave him the clothes and everything, right? What does that teach us? What do I learn, or what did I learn from that? Is that what we're looking for is already inside of us. We're looking outside, saying, if I'm good at my job, if my in-laws are happy with me, if I have money, if I'm size 12, if I'm back to my pre-baby body, if this one, all of the things that we have given ourselves for being good enough, we are the ones that have given ourselves those conditions. And God is saying, you are already good enough. And I know it sounds, again, it sounds so simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's to get to this place where you actually believe that whatever position I've achieved or I've attained, this is God's path for my life, and he has deemed me okay for this. Do I need to learn? Yes. But whether I learn or not, I'm still valuable. I'm still deserving of good things. I'm still worthy just because I exist. I don't have to do anything to prove it. I don't have to perform. I don't have to get accolades. Just by being, I am enough. And that is something that I would love us as women, if we can get it and if we can pass it on to the next generation of women as well. We don't need to prove anything. Let me stop there, because this is something that is really deep to my heart. It's something that's, because I've seen the impact of those beliefs we have about ourselves.
Yeah.
We take wrong decisions. We accept things that are not good for us. We struggle. We pretend. We reduce ourselves. We dim our lights. We accept nonsense because we don't believe. So please, if again, it's not something that we can do on a call, but yeah, I need you to believe. Say it over and over again until
it's a routine that will end up
you need to believe.
It's a routine that will end up becoming a lifestyle.
Yeah. You are going to, every day of your life, every situation, every level, you are going to meet things that would challenge your value, that would challenge your sense of worth. Except you believe that at this stage you are going to fall. That's why we keep asking this question of imposter syndrome. What we're asking is, am I enough? That's what you're asking. What is it that is going to make me feel like I am enough? That's the question people are asking when they talk about imposter syndrome. I don't feel like I'm enough. What is going to make me feel like? And I'm saying that the way we accept and believe salvation with faith, we need to accept and believe with faith that I am enough, regardless of whatever I'm seeing. And you repeat it until you believe it.
I'm enough.
So my sister that asked the question, you are enough. That imposter syndrome is saying that you're not enough. Is attacking you with thoughts of I'm not enough. Oh, I got here by luck. Oh, it's because I'm fine. It's because my daddy knows somebody here. Yeah? All well and good. Everything that is around you, God will use it to favor you. All well and good. But it's favoring you because you are enough. You're already enough. Yes. Yeah? So I hope that helps.
This thing is already turning into worship meeting.
You're already enough. Yeah.
It's already turning into worship meeting. I'm already entering the spiritual realm.
Is there such? Someone needs to mute.
I think she just joined. Yeah. So thank you so much, sis. Like my messages are full. I'm hearing, Mama, this session is for me. Mama, thank you so much for this session. My inbox
Glory to God.
is so full. So this has been an amazing time. As in, like, I feel like we shouldn't even go, but I know we have to go. We have gotten to the point where the purpose of this one that joined this call and stayed on this call or is rewatching this meeting would leave not having a clear understanding of why they need to start doing, to stop waiting and actually start doing, because you're enough. That alone is just enough. Like, you are enough. And then, like I always say, God is a God of 1,000,000 chances. So if you make a mistake while you're doing, it will retrace your steps. So don't get discouraged. Don't be afraid of failing. You've heard that over and over and over this night. Don't be afraid of failing. If you fail, God will bring another opportunity. And like, Ms. Orefe said, your failing could actually be a redirection. Like, I don't want you to do that. Let's do something else. So at the end of today, it's been, somebody said my note is full and I've learned a lot. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much, Orefe. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. But I know this is not the end. We're going to definitely have you again and again and again and again and again. Somebody just said this conference has really been transforming. Thank you for the invitation.
Is this a conference or is the other conference you're referring to?
My sister, with the weights that this thing has been, it is a conference, a full conference. Honestly, it's a full conference. It's so value packed, and I'm so grateful that the informational session is finally back and it's going to get better and better. So thank you, Ms. Orefe. Would you have a last word that you just like, maybe feel led to just share with everybody, something they can hold on to and run with?
So I think I'll end with this last session. And you need to remind yourself, I'm sure you people cannot see, but I have a ring on my finger. I don't know if you can show. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
I bought for myself. It's a little one. I bought for myself. I bought for my children. And on it says I am enough. Yeah. So even me as an adult, approaching 50, I need to remind myself this.
Why did you have to say approaching?
No, I have to say that it's not a small children problem, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's an attack on your identity. Yeah, but every day you fight it. And how do we do that? With the words, our words of faith. The Bible says, raise your shield of faith. What do you believe? It's those words. I am God. What's your VIP? That's what you believe. What's your vision? What's your identity? Who are you? and what's your purpose. So when you know those things, that's the shield of faith that you raise every time those darts come. The Bible says raise your shield of faith against the fiery darts of the enemy. Those darts are to make you to doubt yourself, make you to doubt your identity, doubt your worth, doubt your purpose, doubt everything. Because if you don't believe, if you don't believe something, you cannot do it. If you don't believe something, you cannot do it. So you must believe that I am enough. Then you will act out of that enoughness. You must believe in your vision. Then you work towards. You must believe in your identity. You must believe in your purpose. And you raise that shield of faith every time the thoughts come. And they can come 1,000 times a day. You raise your shield of faith and you confess with your mouth, this is who I am. You are enough. You are not random. You are enough. That's what I want everyone to take away. And your beliefs would pull you towards taking action. Those places you've had trouble taking action is your beliefs, what you're believing about it. So correct those beliefs prayerfully, in faith, and doing the work to identify what you want to believe instead. And the first one is I'm enough. I'm enough. The same way God said for Jesus is saying for me, this is my beloved daughter in whom I am well pleased. Yeah, God is saying that to you. And let me, on behalf of God, you are God's beloved daughter in whom he is well pleased. He's pleased with you. He's not angry with you. He's not disappointed in you. He's waiting for you to understand your identity so that you can put the ring on your finger, put the cloak around like the prodigal son. He's waiting for you to know it. Until you know it, you will take that ring and you will sell it. Yeah, because if you had given that boy that ring, you would have sold it and despised it. Until you know this is who you are, then he said, come and take your position. You are enough. In that place of work, you are enough. As a mother to your children, you are enough. As a wife to your spouse, you are enough. As a single person, you are enough. As a child of your parents, you are enough. Whether you are adopted, you are orphaned, you are enough. Whatever your circumstance is, you are enough. So start from that place, start from that belief, and walk in the fullness of who you are.
Hallelujah. 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 See me already saying hallelujah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, sis. Everybody,
thank you for having me.
Call to action right now is, if you can, write it on a bold piece of paper. I am enough, and paste it all over your wall. Trust me. The power of affirmation, exactly. If it means type it on your phone, use it as your screensaver.
Buy the ring from Temu.
Exactly. Buy your ring. Tell yourself, any day you wake up, you tell yourself, I am enough, and today is a good day to start doing. I am enough, and today is a good day to start doing. See, one thing I've realized is the words of our mouth are very powerful. The more you say it, the more the world would align. Things will just start aligning for you, because the more you say it, the more you believe it, and the more things will start aligning. You just see somebody call you and say, how can you help me do this? You will be shocked. You'll be like, just by saying it, you are talking into the world, the nature, every force of it. I think there's a song like that says that when you say the word of your mouth, everything will just align and start obeying you. Trust me, it looks like a spiritual event. It is spiritual because our life is spiritual. But however, your words are powerful. So keep telling yourself, I am not random. I am enough. I'm God's beloved in whom he is well pleased. And, I am joyful. Today is a good day to start doing. Everything works out for my good. Right now, I'm going to stop waiting and start doing. If I fail, God will realign me back. There's always a realignment. I have my rest in God, and so on and so forth. So let me not drag it too long. Thank you so much, Mr. Rufe. Thank you. Please, ladies, let's just start saying thank you. Thank you. It's been an amazing session. Somebody just wrote, I don't want the session to end. So she's going to go back to watch and listen over and over again. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, we are Wecan NG on YouTube. So search for Wecan. Please follow us so that you can keep watching our content. Our conference is on the channel again, so you can go back to rewatch the conference, you can go back to rewatch this live show, and then subsequently our informational sessions will be live streamed on the platform. And then we have these short videos that we share every week. You can also join so that you can be seeing the information. So thank you everyone for joining this amazing session. I am so glad to say the informational session is finally back. Thank you, Ms. Arife. Have a good evening. Have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, every one of you, for joining. Have an amazing night. Go to church tomorrow. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you.